afternoon and welcome to Fast Horses Today. Today is Saturday. It is October 26th. And there's some big racing all around the country today. So if you're playing on the East Coast or at Keeneland or over at Santa Anita or anywhere in between, wish you the best of luck today. I'm going to go over some races over here at Santa Anita. I'm going to play a late pick 5 and also have a single there in the pick 5 and a win bet that I like, as well as the turf pick 3. So at Santa Anita today, the late pick 5 starts in the 6th race, and the 6th race goes off approximately about 5:30 here Central Time, so 3:30 there in the Pacific Time Zone. And the 6th race is a nice allowance race. It's carded at 1 mile and a 16th, which I really like them going 1 mile and a 16th. I wish they would do that more often instead of just flat mile races. So this ends up being a second level allowance race and a nice collection of horses here. And it's such a nice collection that I don't have a strong opinion or a single for that matter. I mean, there's just some nice horses here. So I've got 4 horses here I'm going to put in. I'm going to put the 2 for All Mankind for John Sadler and Umberto Rispoli. Now this horse to me looks like, you might look at the PPs and go, well, does this horse want to go long? I'm going to trust John Sadler knows what he's doing. And I'm going to say yes. So this horse certainly looks like a sprinter on paper. But you know what? He's got speed. Maybe he'll take that to distance. We'll see. That does happen there. 3-1, not a bad play. So I'm going to put the 2 for All Mankind. I'm also going to put the favorite, who is Ultra Power for Bob Baffert and Juan Hernandez. And this horse is 6-5 in the program. And I can totally see why they put this horse at such a short price. This horse just ran really off the page and off the screen last time. In his last race over at Del Mar, and ended up just, I mean, if you watch the race visually, this horse, what a stride on this horse. And it's not surprising. This horse is bred royally by Curlin out of the wonderful race mare, Unique Bella. And, this horse apparently has had probably some issues because lightly raced, only 4 starts, the starts coming back last year as a 2-year-old, and the horse had a good vacation and came out to Del Mar and just ran sparkling. So anyway, if this horse is good enough, it would just roll over, or duplicates the last race. But I'm going to put 4 horses here because, things tend to happen that you may not suspect. So I've got the 3 Ultra Power. I'm also going to put the 5 horse, who is American Admiral for Tim Yakteen. Now, American Admiral has always been just a quirky horse. I do recall this horse started out his career in the Baffert barn way, way long ago. I mean, this horse is 6 years old now. They paid a ton of money for this horse in the beginning, over $1.3 million. And, the horse hadn't lived up to that kind of billing. They've tried different changes. They've Lasix on, Lasix off. They ended up gelding this horse some time ago. I know this horse, just from watching his races, this horse is just absolutely a massive horse, and it's probably why he went for such a big purchase price. He's such a wonderful, looking athlete. And, this horse has had quite a bit of a vacation. We haven't seen this horse since October 6th. Tim Yakteen put this horse on the shelf after, kind of a long campaign in 2023. I just think, Yakteen's been doing a good job lately in Southern California and certainly factors in with any top trainer. Yakteen is right there. So I think maybe he might have done some training. This horse might show you something at 6-1 with Kazushi Kimura, which is always a good thing. So I'm going to put the 5 American Admiral. And then I'm also going to put the 6 horse, who is Imagination for Bob Baffert. Now, Baffert certainly has a couple horses here. This horse ridden by Martin Garcia, which, was surprised to see Garcia in California today, since it appears this is his only ride. So anyway, Garcia's no stranger to the Baffert barn. They go back a long way. And Imagination was on the 3-year-old Triple Crown Trail. This horse just got beat on the wire in the Santa Anita Derby, a Grade 1. So, this horse has quality. And, at 9-2, how many times have you seen Baffert's bigger price beat the smaller price? So just putting this horse in there because we do see that to happen. So I've got the 2, 3, 5, 6 to get the pick 5 started. Now let's move over to the next race of the day. The next race is the feature. This is the Twilight Derby, a Grade 2 event, 1 1/8 on the grass. These are for 3-year-olds, 3-year-old boys, and nice field of horses. I have a horse that I feel really jumps off the page to me, and I think he'll be a pretty good price too. That's my single for the day. That is the 6 horse, who is Rothschild. Tim Yakteen, as I just mentioned momentarily or briefly ago, that nobody's been training better than Tim Yakteen lately. He trains a horse here, and Kazushi Kimura takes the ride. Now this horse, This horse was a big purchase, $700,000 purchase. And, this is by a big outfit there, over in the East Coast, Starlight Racing, SF Racing. And, they named the horse Rothschild. And I kind of wondered, I think they might be relatives of Rothschilds, back there in the East with the old East Coast money. And, this horse, big purchase, they, of course, tried him out to be a dirt horse. I think, that's where the promise is. That's usually where the 3-year-olds like to point to in the States here. And this horse, has won on the dirt, but, they gave this horse a break after last year. They put the horse first time on the turf at the Cecil B. DeMille Mile, the grade 3 for 2-year-olds over there in Del Mar in the late part of the year. This horse ended up running very well. Got beat by Stay Hot, who's also in this race. But I thought it was just a fabulous effort first time on the turf, just getting beat on the wire there. So something must have run amiss because we hadn't seen the horse. He had a long vacation, about 7 months. They brought this horse out opening day in the Oceanside, for 3-year-olds, which is always a big race there to start the Del Mar season. I thought this horse ran a very nice race, overcoming the Del Mar turf bias. This horse was wide throughout and just stuck around and ended up coming third, having to lead in the stretch and ended up coming third. I don't fault this horse at all. I think that was a wonderful effort, first time off the bench, and still getting used to a new surface, being the turf. That was a second start, and running well. And they thought so much of this horse. They took this horse over to Kentucky Downs to run this horse in the Nashville Derby, which is a grade 3, and even more importantly, it's a $3 million purse. So that field was loaded. There were 12 horses in the field. They were, loaded fields for that kind of money. This horse broke out from the 1 hole, and I thought just ran a really, really big race at Kentucky Downs. And, the Kentucky Downs races don't always translate elsewhere. So sometimes you see these big purses, big races at Kentucky Downs. They don't translate, but I just really like the way the horse ran. And I couple that with his effort in the Oceanside. This is his third off the layoff. And I think this horse is primed for a big race. So 9-2, I think we're going to get all of that, 9-2. There's some other horses probably going to get that. So I like the horse 9-2. I'm going to make him a win bet here, and I'm going to single Rothschild here in the pick 5. All right, let's move over to the next race of the day. Next race is the 8th race. It's a 12,500 claimer condition, 6 furlong race. I'm not going to speak a whole lot about this race because these are just horses that you're just hoping to catch them on the right day. I've got 4 horses here. I'm going to put the 2 Okasik for George Papapadromo. This horse was a huge purchase, over $400,000. So Boulevard of Broken Dreams. Horse, took his time running for maiden 20s and finally broke his maiden. Who knows? Maybe the light bulb goes on in this lower level race. He's 8-1. Rispoli will put this horse in. There was a big scratch in the 3. Chasing Rain is out of the race. So I'm, going to also put the 6, Damasio. Jeff Mullins, this horse has been running at this level, has been putting Emily Ellingwood on the horse. She's ridden the horse okay, and we'll see. Emily comes through sometimes with some wins, at good prices. This horse is 5-1. Can also put the 7 and the 8, and these horses are kind of the same to me. These are both California breds that broke their maidens and maiden claimings, and both connections are dropping this horse 12-5. So that tells me there's not a lot of promise there. But this race, is just void of talent. So I've got the 2, 6, 7, 8. All right, now let's move over to the next race of the day. 9th race. This is running down the hill. So interestingly enough, they didn't really use the hill much in this Santa Anita fall meet. This race is an allowance race, first level allowance, as I mentioned, down the hill. Always beautiful races when they run down the hill there. I've got 3 horses I'm going to put in. I'm going to put the 2, Lovin' on the Run for Carla Gaines, Umberto Rispoli. This horse has been knocking heads with maiden special weights, and just, kind of running even races. Ended up breaking her maiden at Del Mar in a 5 furlong sprint race, which I always give, a lot of credit to. Those are tough races to win. And then they ended up, bringing this horse over to Santa Anita. Ran kind of just an even race at 6 furlongs on the grass, the flat grass. This horse is 7-2. Rispoli does good work down the hill, so certainly a factor here. I'm also going to put the 7 horse with Special Flower for Doug O'Neill. This horse 3-1 in the program. This horse has a win over the Santa Anita grass. It's a 6 furlong race, so that's the flat grass. Ended up running nice first time out, which that's always gets my attention because a horse winning first out means that they've got some talent there. So there was a break there, between that race and on St. Patrick's Day, and then they ended up bringing the horse back in September towards the end of Del Mar. So apparently something happened there that the horse had that big of a break. I thought the horse ran just a decent race, was hung out wide. You didn't want to be there at Del Mar wide, was the 10 post out of 12. Just ended up having a tough trip and, just ran around the track. I think it might set him up for another better effort here. Then I'm also going to put the 9. Grudgingly, I'm going to put the 9 as the program favorite at 5-2. Hector Palma and Hector Barrios. The 2 Hectors here pairing up. So this horse has been, running and maiden claiming and starter allowance races, has shown some good wins. So, Hector Palma's a crafty guy. I wouldn't want to go this far in a pick 5 and get knocked out by him. So I'm going to put him in there grudgingly. So I've got the 2, 7, and 9. Now let's go to the last race of the day. Last race of the day is the 10th. This is a 1.125 on the grass. This is a condition claimer, 30,000, non-winner of 3 in their lifetime. Just a tough collection of horses to expect, consistency here. So I got 3 horses here. I've got the 1 who is National Genero for George Papapadromo. You might look on the paper and go, what are you selecting this horse for? I think this horse probably gets the lead from the 1 hole. We've seen this happen at Santa Anita where horses can get a lead and they just kind of coast. And, this horse hasn't done much his last 2 starts at Del Mar. But as we've seen, George Papapadromo, he's been the magic man at Santa Anita with horses that don't look good on paper and somehow run. So, I don't know, draw your own conclusions on what's going on with the Papapadromo barn. But this horse kind of has fit that pattern of horses that don't look too good and they just show up on race day. 6-1, Frey Sue will put National Genero. I'm going to put the 4-horse Donner Lake for Michael McCarthy and Juan Hernandez. And this is a Calbred who, this horse comes from a really good family out of the race mare Pure. Now, Pure has, certainly dropped some nice Calbred horses, including, what was Donner Lake at one time. But, apparently something happened. Donner Lake didn't live up to that promise. He's a 6-year-old now. But he's done his best work on the turf. His 2 wins are on the turf. They're running on the turf today. They tried him in claimers last time on the dirt. He kind of just ran an even race. He's back to turf here for 25. 9-2. Certainly not a horse to throw out. That would be Donner Lake. Then I'm going to put the 5 Spagliato for Phil D'Amato and Umberto Rispoli. These guys pair up for a lot of wins. This is another horse who didn't live up to expectations. This horse, by Quality Road, there's no purchase price here, but, we know it's expensive to breed to Quality Road. So this horse certainly didn't live up, to his expectations, running now for 30,000 in the claiming ranks. But, last time they did drop him in for 25, he did win. So, it seems like, with horses nowadays, it's almost like a feast or famine. But, why not, some of these horses, they don't live up to their expectations, but maybe they could be good claimers and good hard knockers that fill races on a daily basis. It's probably what Santa Anita needs, a lot more of, or Southern California in general needs a lot more of that. So maybe Spagliato, would be that kind of horse. So I've got the 1, 4, and 5. All right, now let's cap off the day here and recap the tickets. All right, so I've got 2 tickets here. I've got the late pick 5, as I mentioned. I also have the turf pick 3, which includes races 7, 9, and 10. So let's get to the late pick 5 first. I've got the 2, 3, 5, 6 with the 6. That's the single in the Twilight Derby and the win bet on the 6. And then I've got the 2, 6, 7, 8 with the 2, 7, 9 with the 1, 4, and 5. And that's a $72 ticket today in the pick 5. And then in the in the turf pick 3, which includes races 7, 9, and 10, I've got the 6, who is also my win bet and also my single there. That's in the Twilight Derby. Then that's with the 2, 7, 9 with the 1, 4, and 5. And that turf pick 3 is a $36 ticket. And then, as I mentioned, we've got the win bet in the 7th race on the 6, Rothschild. So, as always, if you see fit, jump in, play as is. If you want to add or subtract, you've got to do what fits you. If you want to play pick 3s within this or the pick 4, you've got to do what fits you best. Whatever you decide, I do wish you the best of luck. Let's get some great trips, because great trips result in great luck. And let's wish the folks over there at Santa Anita a great, safe day of racing. As always, I ask you to do me a favor. Please hit the subscribe button. Doesn't cost you anything. It just puts you on the feed. When new content comes around, you'll get it. Like, dislike, make comments. Would love to have a discussion. Thank you so much for watching, and good luck today at Santa Anita, the great race place.